Today I am going to explain how to find the mass of a given substance or the number of moles of a substance based on a chemical reaction. So in my previous video I told you how to balance a chemical equation. So based on that we have to calculate the number of moles, or if you are asked to find the mass of a substance, you have to follow a process of steps, but it is very easy once you just get the idea. Now here I have given an example. You are asked to find the mass of hematite to be taken to obtain 112 grams of iron. In the extraction of iron, you have learned about this equation. Hematite reacts with carbon monoxide, forming iron and carbon dioxide. So you are given the relative atomic masses as well. So you don't need to remember the relative atomic masses, they will be given. So here the first thing is to balance the chemical equation. Here there are two iron atoms, and on this side there are only three, there are only one. So we can put number 2 in front of iron, right? Then here there are 3 oxygen atoms, and here there is only 1 oxygen atom. 3 plus 1 altogether 4. And here there are 2 oxygen atoms. So if you think to put number 2 in front of carbon dioxide to balance oxygen, then it will be 4 on this side as well. But if you put 2 here, 2 carbon atoms come to this side. So we will have to put 2 in front of this carbon monoxide. Then another oxygen atom is added. Therefore, we have to move on to the next number. So 2 is an even number. If we put an odd number here, now there are 3 carbon atoms, and 3 into 2, 6 oxygen atoms. So here there are 3 oxygen atoms already. So if we put 3 in front of carbon monoxide, altogether there are 6 oxygen atoms. Now oxygen is balanced. Then what about carbon? 3 carbon atoms on this side, another 3 carbon atoms on this side. So you have got the molar ratio, which is essential to do this calculation. Once you become familiar with those, you will be able to do this sum within few seconds. Now the molar ratio is given as hematite to carbon monoxide 1:3, and when you use 1 mole of hematite, you will be able to produce 2 moles of iron and 3 moles of carbon dioxide. That is the meaning of this balancing. Right? Now you are given the mass of iron and you are asked to find the mass of hematite to be taken. So for that, if we take the molar ratio in between iron and hematite, you can see that it is 2:1. 2:1. So first we will find the number of moles of iron. For that, you are given the mass of iron. 112 grams of iron is to be produced. When you know the mass, you have learned this equation. Number of moles equals mass divided by the molar mass. So a number of units are combined here. So the mass of iron is given as 112. How to find the molar mass? That is the mass of 1 mole of a substance. So you know, for an element, if you take the relative atomic mass in grams, that is equal to the molar mass. So as the relative atomic mass of iron is 56, if you take 56 grams of iron, that is equal to 1 mole. So that is the molar mass of iron, grams per mole. So here you can see, you will get 2 moles of iron. 2 moles of iron. Now, to get 2 moles of iron, you will have to use 1 mole of hematite according to the molar ratio. Then iron is 2, Fe2O3 is 1. Now, you know the number of moles of hematite that should be taken is 1 mole. 1 mole of hematite to be taken. Now you are asked find the mass of hematite. So you have used the same equation again in another manner. Now you have to find M when you are given number of moles and the molar mass. So for that you have to find the molar mass of hematite. How to find the molar mass? In a compound, you know, when you take the sum of the relative atomic masses. If I write it here, now Fe2O3. So it contains 2 iron atoms. So we will have to take 56 into 2 plus there are 3 oxygen atoms. The relative atomic mass of oxygen is 16. Therefore, 3 into 16. So here 2 into 56 is 112 and 3 into 16 is 48. Therefore, 112 plus 48 means 160. The relative molecular mass of hematite is 160. Then for a compound, you know, when you take the relative molecular mass in grams, that is equal to the molar mass. Therefore, the molar mass of hematite is 160 grams per mole. Now you know the molar mass. Molar mass of hematite as well as the number of hematite moles is 1 mole. Now you can find the mass of hematite. That's very easy. So according to this equation, you can see the mass is equal to the number of moles multiplied by the molar mass. So the number of moles is 1 mole and the molar mass we have found as 160 grams per mole. 160 grams per mole. Right, so the mass of hematite will be taken as mole per mole. 160 into 1, that is 160 grams. So this is the answer, very easy. So you are asked to find the mass of hematite to be taken to obtain 112 grams of iron. So according to the calculation, to obtain 112 grams of iron, you need to take 160 grams of hematite. So you have come to the end. So if this is asked for an MCQ question, multiple choice question, you can do this within few seconds without writing these equations. You can just find it. Before that, you have to learn the theory behind this method. Hope you understood the method. So if you can go through the video again if you find some of the points difficult. So you can watch this twice or thrice, and once you get the idea, you can easily do any type of calculation.